Okay, we're going to make a tree in Blender. It's pretty easy because somebody has already created a tree and put it as an add-on. So we're going to go get the add-on and create a simple tree. First of all, let's delete the cube. Let's go to File and User Preferences. So there's lots of different preferences here that we can change. Let's go to the add-ons menu here, and right here in the search bar, let's search for Sapling is what they called it. Sapling, and when that comes up, make sure this is checked right here. Check it for our add-on. Click Save User Settings and close that box. Now when we come to the Add menu, it's actually a curve. Go into the Curve menu and right here add a tree. The tree is really big. We're going to make it smaller once we put some settings on it. But before we do anything to it, we need to come over here to this menu right here and change some settings, because right now it's a curve but there's no depth to it. We can't see anything. If we rendered it, there'd be nothing there. So right here, let's check bevel first of all, and we're going to change the resolution, make it a little more curved. If I zoom in on it, it looks pretty decent, but it's not very rounded. So let's change this to 10, and that makes it a lot more curved. Couple things here. Random seed, if I change that, it changes kind of the different types of trees there are. If I wanted to duplicate my tree and make kind of a little forest, if I had 10 trees, I wouldn't want to make one tree and duplicate it 10 times. It would look just the same, exactly the same, which wouldn't be very realistic. So make a few different trees with different seeds, and then you can duplicate those and change the sizes, and that would make it look a lot more realistic. I think for now I'm going to keep everything the same. I can export a preset, which is kind of nice. There's some presets here which are fun to play with and look at to see what others have created, or this person that made the add-on created. But I'll come back to that and after I'm done changing some settings. So let's go back up to this menu, and from geometry let's go to branch splitting. Now branches, there's 2 levels right now applied. If I go back to level 1, it just is a stick. It's just the trunk. So level 2, let's go to level 3 and create even more branches, and that's a nice place to start. I could go to 4 and it creates even more. If I go any higher than that, it might crash the computer. So let's stay at 3. Branch splits is interesting. It splits the trunk up into 2 main trunks or more. So that's a lot of times trees have that. Let's stay at 0 for now. And there's 1,000 other settings that you could use, but we're not going to mess with those right now. Depending on what type of tree and how good you are at this, you can create any type of tree you want. So you can play with that later. Let's go up. The last one we'll do is leaves. And let's click this box, show leaves, and it gives us some leaves. Now for every branch, since I'm at level 3, it gives me 25 per branch. Level 3 gives me this many leaves. If I'm on level 2 still, it's not going to look like that. You'll have to increase the leaves quite a bit. But depending on your other settings, the leaves looks like that or something different. Now there's different types of leaves, kind of the shapes here. Let's leave it how it is in the scale. We could make this, we could make the leaves a little bigger, clicking this a couple times. And then the leaf scale X is kind of how long the leaf is, long and skinny. Some leaves are very long and skinny, others are more rounded, so you can play with that a little bit. Okay, those are all the settings that we're going to do for now. Let's go back into geometry and create a preset. So I can name it. I'll name it tree 2. I already have a tree 1 made. So I will export that preset, and then it just adds it to this list right here. And I can go get it each time I make a tree. If I want that same tree, of course. Okay, so now we're done with these. Let's come over here and right click on the trunk. Now there's 2 different places to click or select. There's leaves, and I can change the color of the leaves, which in fact let's do that right now. So click on the leaves, go over to the materials tab, new material, and I can just make it a general green color. I can come into preview material mode, and there's my leaves. If I get to click on the trunk now this is a curve still, so I can go into my curve menu. Here's my resolutions, and I already changed the resolution to 10 and the depth to 1, so that's fine. But if I go into edit mode, I can see the anchors and the handles, and I can change the look of the tree if I really want to. I can also, well, let's see, let's put a material on this. Let's add a new material and make it a brown color. Now it doesn't show up in the preview because it's still a curve. I could do Alt-C and convert it to a mesh, and then I could see it. And when I tab in, I can no longer change the curve, but it's now got all my faces and vertices and edges. So just like a regular mesh. So either way, you can keep it as a curve or change it to a mesh. When I render, if it's a curve and I put a color on it and I render it, then I'll be able to see the color, just not in the preview mode. Okay, so there's my basic tree right there. Now, I'm going to scale it down because it's really, really big. Uh-oh. Okay, before I convert it to a mesh, so I'm going to undo. I want this to be a curve still, so go back, back, back. Okay, it's the curve, I know, because it's got the little curve menu and the color went away. It's still got the color, but it's just a curve for now. So let's select it and then scale it down. Make sure you've got the trunk selected and it's still a curve. And I'm going to go way down, because if it's really big, then my computer slows down as soon as I start duplicating it. So hit the period key on the number pad and it zooms in on it. Still looks the same, it's just smaller. And that's what I want. A to deselect. Okay, there it is. That's my basic tree. You can change a lot of settings and do a lot of crazy things with it. And even the colors and textures and materials, we can change all those too.